Once upon a time, in a vast and vibrant jungle where the trees reached for the sky and the flowers bloomed in a riot of color, lived a mighty lion. His roar echoed through the valleys, a sound so powerful it made every creature, big and small, tremble. He was the undisputed king of the jungle, and all animals showed him respect, bowing their heads whenever he passed. His magnificent mane shone like gold in the sunlight, and his powerful legs carried him with a proud, regal stride. He was strong, he was feared, and he ruled his kingdom with an iron paw. Every afternoon after a hearty meal, the lion would find a shady spot under a large ancient tree to take a long nap. The jungle would grow quiet, as if holding its breath, allowing its king to rest peacefully. His deep, rumbling snores were the only sound that broke the silence. But one sunny afternoon, a tiny, adventurous mouse with bright, curious eyes was scurrying through the undergrowth, exploring the world around him. He was so busy chasing a colorful butterfly that he didn't notice the giant sleeping lion right in his path. In his haste, the little mouse scampered right up the lion's tail, over his back, and accidentally ran across his nose. Woken from his deep slumber, the lion let out a deafening roar that shook the very leaves on the trees. Roar! In a flash, he snatched the terrified little mouse and trapped him under his enormous paw. The mouse, trembling from whisker to tail, looked up at the giant, angry face of the king. The lion opened his massive jaws, ready to swallow the tiny creature in one gulp. When the mouse begged for mercy, the lion's heart softened. Little did he know that one act of kindness would save his life. "Oh, mighty king," squeaked the mouse, his voice barely a whisper. "Please, I beg you, let me go. I did not mean to wake you. If you spare my life today, I promise I will repay your kindness. Someday, I may be able to help you too." The lion stared at the tiny mouse, then let out a great, rumbling laugh. The idea that this minuscule creature could ever help him, the king of the jungle, was the funniest thing he had ever heard. "You? Help me?" He chuckled, his voice booming. "You are too small to help anyone." But the mouse's bravery and earnest plea had amused him. Feeling generous and in a surprisingly good mood, the lion lifted his paw. "Go on, little one," he said with a smirk. "Run along before I change my mind." The grateful mouse scurried away as fast as his little legs could carry him, disappearing into the tall grass. Days later, when the lion was trapped, the tiny mouse proved that even the smallest can be mighty. While prowling through a less traveled part of the jungle, the lion walked straight into a hunter's trap. A thick rope net, hidden among the leaves, sprang up and pulled him high into the air, tangling him completely. He thrashed and struggled with all his strength, but the more he fought, the tighter the ropes became. He was helpless. Terrified and furious, he roared for help, his desperate cries echoing for miles. Many animals heard his call, but they were too afraid of the hunter's trap to come near. His roars grew weaker, filled with despair. But one small creature did not run away. The little mouse, whose life the lion had spared, heard the king's roars of distress. Recognizing the voice, he immediately followed the sound, his heart pounding. He found the mighty lion hanging helplessly, tangled in the strong ropes. "Don't worry, Your Majesty, I am here to help you," the mouse squeaked. The lion looked down and saw the tiny creature he had laughed at just days before. Without wasting a moment, the mouse climbed up the tree and began to gnaw at the thick ropes with his sharp little teeth. He nibbled and chewed, one strand at a time. It was hard work, but he didn't stop. Slowly but surely, the ropes began to fray. One by one, they snapped, until finally, with a loud thud, the entire net fell, and the lion was free. The lion stood up, shaking his mane, and looked down at the small mouse with newfound respect and gratitude. He had been saved not by a strong bear or a clever fox, but by the smallest of creatures he had once dismissed. He smiled warmly, a true and gentle smile. "Thank you, my little friend," the lion said, his voice soft and full of genuine warmth. "You were right. You saved my life. I will never forget your courage and your kindness." From that day on, the mighty lion and the tiny mouse became the best of friends, proving to everyone in the jungle a valuable lesson. No kindness is ever wasted. Even the smallest friend can make a big difference.